Okay, so I didn't write anything for this Sunday ramble. Also because it's a Sunday ramble, but I didn't write like any points at all whatsoever. Which means I was just willing to let myself take free reign. That is a scary thought, because I'll talk for hours. Hi everybody, my name is GERKEN. Welcome back to the channel. I am a wedding filmmaker from Kansas City, Missouri. I like drinking Dr. Pepper and talking to a camera, and today we are going to talk about something that I've been wanting to talk about for a real long time. Welcome back to the Sunday Rambles. Let's get it. Let me explain to you what we're going to talk about today. We are going to talk about generations and the generational divide that I feel every single day as a member of the Gen Z generation. If you do not care at all about generations, that's fine. Ignore this video. This video is not for you. However, this is mainly for my young people, because I know that anyone over the age of probably 30 is going to get a little pissed off with what I have to say. I love talking about this. This is one of my favorite things to talk about because nobody can ever change my mind. We are going to talk about technology, and we are going to talk about the difference between the technology of our time and the technology of past time. Okay, when I was in high school, let me paraphrase this with a backstory. When I was in high school, I wrote an essay about this in 10th grade. This essay got like a C, I think. And probably because I write how I talk, and when you're in school, that obviously doesn't work. We're going to talk about the American education system in a different video, by the way. She wrote down, you know, however many comments that was like, this is fake, this is blah, 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 like, this is not real, whatever. Anyways, I remember being so mad, and I remember being like, you do realize that the point of the essay is every single thing that you wrote down on my paper. Everything that you wrote down on my paper was the exact point of why I wrote the essay. It was hilarious. Basically what I wrote about was the differentiations? Basically what I wrote about is the difference between the technology of our time and the technology of the generations past. So, for those of you who may be wondering, I am a Gen Z, I am not a millennial. Do not call me a millennial, I am not one. I am not one. Yes, I am a part of the generation that ate fucking Tide Pods, okay? No, I do not support people eating fucking Tide Pods. Don't fucking do that. You're just dumb and you look stupid. Yes, I realize that my generation has done some pretty shitty things, but we've also done some pretty amazing things. I am very proud to be in the part of the generation that I am in. I am on the very top end of Gen Z, and I would like to say that I'm on the top end of like the really rebellious generation side. So like all those people that are marching in the streets, those would be Gen Zs. But anyways, going back to the original plot of the movie, my generation grew up on iPads, iPhones, Switches, Xboxes, things like that. I used to play Xbox when I was young. I remember people having those little PSPs, which is basically like a before its time Nintendo Switch. When I was in elementary school, I had Nintendos. What were they called? Nintendo DS's. I had Nintendo DS's when I was super young. So I grew up on technology. I've grown up with technology. I've had TVs, I've had cell phones, like I've had all of that. Yes, I did have a landline phone, by the way. That was fun. I want to bring back a landline. That was fun. I really liked it having the cord thing. Even like what? Anyways. So I grew up on all that technology. Now, anybody in like what do they call them? The Gen X generations. Is there one after Gen X before baby boomers? I don't think so. I have no idea. Regardless, Gen X are up. They grew up on not that, I'm assuming. I don't actually fully know when like TVs and shit came out, but I know they didn't grow up on like iPhones or anything like that, which is the main purpose of what I'm talking about today. So today there's a big, huge generational divide between like kids having cell phones and kids having iPads and yada, yada, yada. I see this on Instagram and TikTok all the time, where they're like, my kid will not have an iPad, my kid will not have a cell phone until they're like in middle school or whatever. Okay, go off, you do you. However, some of the reasons that people don't want them to have technology is because they want their kids to be creative. They want their kids to be in the moment. Now, I'm all for living in the moment. I'm all for mindfulness. I'm all for stillness. And I am all for saying that this thing can ruin your fucking life. Because it can, and it has. Social media, I had to take a break for a long time. Sometimes I still take breaks. I'm rarely on my phone nowadays because I don't like being on it. But that is nothing to do with what I'm talking about here today. Bruh. My dogs are going crazy, going stupid up there. People don't like kids to be on their phones because they don't like that they're on their phones all the time doing nothing. What I say to you is that's fucking bullshit, because they're not doing nothing on their phone. Let me tell you a little bit about when I was in high school, what I was doing on my phone all day, every day. I was either talking to people, I was reading, or I was or I was looking things up, watching videos, researching in some way. Now, people always talk about this stuff in school and how kids always use their phones at school and how they you know, you can't be separated from your phone within 5 blah, 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 blah. Shut the fuck up. You sound dumb. Because to be honest with you, no, I don't want to be separated from this. And let me tell you why. First of all, it's a safety feature at this point if you live in America. We're not going to talk about that though. But the most important reason for me is the fact that if something were to happen, something cool, something that I love, something crazy, I want that there to capture it. I want to take a picture because it will last longer. And everybody's always like, and this is where I come back to that in the moment thing. Everybody's always like, just be in the moment, you know, just enjoy it. No, because I have this. I am going to take a picture of that thing because that thing was cool. And you know what? When I was in high school, not now, because I ain't got no friends now, but when I was in high school, I would go to my friends and I would say, hey, look at this really cool thing that happened to me over the weekend. I went to Colorado when I was in 9th grade and I took a shit ton of pictures because I was so excited I was going to Colorado for the first time. Can you imagine if somebody would have told me, oh, just be in the moment. Just be in the moment and just be and just enjoy the mountains. No! Because I've never been here before. I live in flat-ass Kansas City, Missouri. I live in the prairie, for God's sakes. I have never seen a mountain in my life. I am going to take as many pictures as I possibly can because it is the coolest thing by far that I've ever seen because I've never been here. And you know what? I went back the next day to all my friends and I said, look where I just went. I just went to Colorado for the very first time in my life. And most of them were like, holy shit, that's a fucking mountain because we live in Missouri. I'm getting so hype about this. I love talking about this. This is one of my favorite things to talk about. The other thing that I have, and this is where I really get pissed off. Everybody always says, when I was in school, I keep going back to when I was in school because this was a really big thing when I was in school. One of my teachers, who is one of my favorite people of like all time, like I loved him as a teacher, but he always played this dumbass bullshit video that really bothered me. He played this video by Simon Sinek, and if you know me personally, you know that I don't like Simon Sinek. I don't like anything that he has to say. I don't know why. I just don't. But one thing that he talked about was these. And he talked about specifically millennials, but I still felt personally attacked. I'll link the video down below if you want to go watch it. It's about 20 minutes long. It is pretty long, but you can kind of get the gist of it if you just watch a couple of minutes. One of the parts that I specifically remember was that he was saying when he goes out to eat with his friends, he does not bring his cell phone with him. And my very first thought is, how do you do that in America? He's American, he lives in America, I think. I don't know if he's American. He sounds American, but he also could be Canadian, I'm not sure. I cannot imagine going out somewhere and not bringing my phone. I live in America. I live in a not safe country for multiple personal reasons, but also just for the fact that it's America and anything can happen at any point in time. I go door dashing for a living. Now, with the exception of the fact that DoorDash is an app that is on my phone and that's how I use it, can you imagine if I went out door dashing and I didn't bring my phone? When I go out to eat dinner with my friends, when I go out for a coffee date with my friends, I have to bring my phone because on the slight off chance that something happens to me, and it is increased if you live in America, I need to have my phone with me. And this is the thing, when I was in high school, they always threatened us with this, and although they never ever did it because I think they realized they would have a much bigger fight on their hand than they thought. But when I was in high school, they always threatened to have us put our phones in like a bucket the minute that we walked into school. And I remember thinking, and I actually told my mom this, I said, over my dead body, will you touch my phone? Actually, my mom's school that she works at right now, they have a policy where if you bring your phone, she works in a middle school, if you bring your phone, you have to keep it in your locker. And I told her the other day, I said, if that was my kid who was going to that school, I would say absolutely the fuck not, you're not keeping it in your locker. You're gonna keep it on your person at all times. You are not gonna get it out because then they're gonna know that you have it, but absolutely not are you keeping that in your locker. And this is the biggest reason why it always bothered me in school. And they always said this in school, no matter where I was, it always came back to school. They always said, you don't need your phone in school. And the next day there was a school shooting. Because what would happen? What would happen if it did happen to us and we didn't have our phone? What would happen if we couldn't call 911? If we couldn't text our family one last time. If a school shooter were to walk into my high school, the very, very, very first thing any single person in that building would do is reach for their phone. And you cannot tell me otherwise. The first thing that you would do is reach for your phone and either 1, record what's happening, 2, record yourself, or 3, text the people that you love them. You cannot sit here and tell me that if something like that were to happen to you, you wouldn't immediately reach for your phone. I think that would be absolute bullshit, and I would call you out on your bluff, because there's no way. I'm gonna read you something. Something that I'm very, very passionate about. I found this in 2015. I will link the pin down below. It's off Pinterest. I don't think I can find the actual Tumblr post that it was originally on. Don't judge me. It was originally a Tumblr post, but I saw it on Pinterest. I'll link the pin down below. It says, "Your generation would probably live tweet the apocalypse, you say, and you laugh. You mean it as an insult, and I understand. Or you don't, because the word lies awkwardly on your tongue, stumbles as it leaves your lips, air quotes visible. You meant it as an insult, so you don't understand when I look into your eyes and say yes, because we would. It would be our duty, as citizens on this earth, to document its end in the best way we know. And if that means a second-by-second update of the world going up in flames, or down in rain, or crushed under the feet of invading monsters, so be it. It would mean a second-by-second update of, I love you, I'm scared, are you alright, stay close, be brave. It would mean a second-by-second update of the humanity's connection with one another. Proof of empathy, love, and friendship between people who have never met in the flesh. So don't throw the word live tweet at me like a dagger meant to tear at my teenage superiority. Because if the citizens of Pompeii, before they were consumed by fire, had a chance to tell their friends and family throughout Rome, I love you, I'm scared, don't forget me, don't you think they would have taken a chance?" It makes me so angry to think about that stuff. To think about the fact that people say, like, your generation is probably gonna live tweet the apocalypse. Absolutely, yeah, we will. When you think about all that's gone on in the world, when you think about all the school shootings that we have, when you think about even like going back to even like 9/11 and going back to even what's happening right now in Maui, in the fires in Hawaii, there are people who I have never seen or met before that I can send money to. There are organizations that are helping them out, helping get supplies through the channels of social media and the internet. So when older generations tell me like, you spend way too much time on your phone, like phones are ruining the world, like technology is gonna ruin the earth, I have to remind myself of all the things, all the good things that technology has done. There are so many amazing things that technology can do and that technology can accomplish. And you can do it so fast and so quick, all through this little tiny square box that fits in your pocket. We have this at our fingertips. Why would we not use it? Can you imagine if what was going on in Maui right now? Can you imagine how much more difficult it would be for them to get the word out? Now, I do understand completely that way, way, way back then, when terrible things like this happened, they didn't have a way to, just use something quick like this. They didn't have a way to get that information out that fast. They had to do it within newspapers or typewriters or whatever. I understand that, but that's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is that back then, you didn't have that. Right now, we have that. Why would we not use it? Can you imagine someone telling the people of Maui to just be in the moment? Why would we not record what's going on? Why would we not text my friends and my family saying that I love you, our house has just been burnt down? What's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? And this angers me so much in my soul. And maybe it angers me because I'm young. Maybe it angers me because I have the ability to speak up. I don't know. I don't really care. Regardless, it pisses me the fuck off. Because when people say you spend way too much time on your phone, I tell them absolutely I do. Because 100 years from now, people are gonna wanna know what it was like. And they're gonna see all of the crazy, stupid, weird things that are going on in the world. They're gonna see all the great, they're gonna see all the dumb, they're gonna see all of the bad. All because of this little square box. You can't take that away from me. You can't take that away from this generation, no matter what you say. I'm sorry that it upsets you, but I don't care anymore. And I will always, always fight for this generation to spend as much time on their phones as they want, because the most important thing that comes from these things is the ability to tell other people that you love them and send out a quick text before anything happens. Hey, I love you. Just like that. Can't take that away from us. You won't take that away. And that's why I fight so hard, because we have it and we're gonna use it. This video is very long. I am going to go ahead and sign off. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry this got a little heated, but this is one of my favorite topics to talk about ever. So I apologize that it got a little heated, but look, anything that I express in Sunday Rambles are just my opinion. You don't have to agree with them, that's fine. If you want to fight me down in the comments, go ahead, boost my algorithm, I don't give a shit. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them down below. If you want to like this video, go ahead. If you don't like the little playlist that it makes, that's fair enough. Subscribe if you like content like this, if this is your vibe. I'm here every week, every Sunday. So I will see you in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed. Sending all the love to you. I love you all, for real. Thank you for watching. Later. Yeet.